Canada's hockey community is still reeling today following bombshell reports that 5 players from the 2018 Canadian men's World Junior team are reportedly facing sexual assault charges. The players have not been formally named. They have reportedly been given an unspecified period of time to turn themselves into police in London, Ontario, where a Hockey Canada Gala event was held. London police say they will hold a news conference on Monday, February 5th. This comes after London's police force filed an application in court a year ago, stating they had reasonable grounds to believe that 5 members of Team Canada had sexually assaulted a woman. A year before that, we learned that Hockey Canada had paid an undisclosed settlement to a woman in London after she reported an alleged abuse. None of the allegations have been proven in court. The NHL and Hockey Canada have both declined to comment. Sportsnet's Paul Grant has been tracking developments on this and joins us now. Paul, what do we know about these charges?
Well, there's a lot of things that happened to get us to this point. We've had an investigation ongoing since early 2022, and London police about a year ago filed a motion to state that they had enough evidence they believed to file charges against 5 players. And that's where we have found ourselves today, is that they believe that they have enough evidence to charge 5 players, and they've asked 5 players from the 2018 team to surrender themselves to police in London before the end of next week, actually.
And we know those 5 players are not being named by police, but we do know that some have taken a leave of absence because they are playing in the pro leagues right now.
Yeah, that's right. There are 5 players that have taken leaves of absence. We tend to be careful with connecting those dots right now because there have been no official charges made. But there are 5 players who are on their way back to Canada, apparently. And we know that the press conference on February 5th in London, that they'll have a better indication of who those players are and what the charges will be.
This rocked the hockey world right across the country. It dates back to 2018 when this allegedly happened. What is the reaction now?
Well, I think there's a lot of confusion and there's a lot of, I think culture shift is probably the best way to put it. Since this first came to light in 2022, I think a lot of people have taken a really good hard look at hockey and the culture and what it means to women who have been involved in this situation. This is not an isolated situation in any stretch of the imagination. Perhaps this number of people involved in this alleged incident are, but we see sexual assault across the country, unfortunately, attached to our. And I think this is sort of a reckoning for the sport right now. And I think you're seeing a lot of people taking a look at themselves in the mirror saying, what can we do to change this game? What can we do to make this game a safer place? Do
you think anything has actually changed since this first came to light?
I think it's been small steps. I think it's been incremental. I don't think that the changes have been large enough for us to say, oh, great, we're changing the game. I still think it's going to be a long, long road, but we're on that road. We're in the right direction, and I think that changes will come eventually.
I think what outraged so many people when this first came to light is that there was an actual, let's call it a slush fund, to deal with sexual assault, sexual harassment cases and make them go away quietly. And people were angry because their children's fees were helping to pay for this. And then it seemed like the board was very slow to recognizing that this was a serious issue. So where do we go from here? A lot of sponsorships were lost. They're just starting to come back. Do you expect them to continue? Let's delve into all of this mess a little bit more.
Yeah, sure. It's a very important point because everyday hockey players across the country, little girls and little boys, are playing the game because they love it. And they're paying to support that love. They're not paying to support this kind of slush fund that existed. I think what you've seen now is you've seen a dramatic change in the leadership at Hockey Canada. I don't think the same approaches will be taken around these sorts of issues. They become a lot more transparent in how they deal with these sort of things. There's a Safe Sport Commission that's been set up. There's a reporting structure and infrastructure and mechanisms that are in place now that will help guard against this kind of thing. At least that's the intention. So I think that I think Canadians have a right to be ticked off about what happened around this and that they were effectively this kind of thing. However, having said that, with all this news having come to light, I think that the game again is changing. And with the leadership, as I mentioned, at Hockey Canada changing, I think you'll see a different outlook and a different future for the game in terms of, with the little girls and the little boys on the ice, they know they can love the game again.
And really, Paul, at the heart of this, and we must mention, there is a young woman who came forward with allegations. Police initially said that there wasn't enough evidence and no charges would be laid. And she is really at the heart of this, and probably, likely, perhaps will have to go to trial. And it's been a very, I'm sure, grueling long haul for her.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to think that she is among the bravest people in this story, if not the bravest person, to come forward with what happened and the allegations. That was a huge step in trying to change the game. You can think of this unfortunate and terrible incident as it has been alleged. If this is a traumatic event for her, and for her to come up and weigh in on this and say, this is not right, this is what happened to me, this is a game changer in a lot of ways. And I mean that for the culture of the game and also for perhaps sexual assault survivors across the country.
All right, Paul, thank you very much for joining us on this very serious issue today.
Thank you for having me.
That is Paul Grant, a senior editor with Sportsnet. Thank you again.